This is where we start off. Mendeley. I'll just tell you a quick, brief bit about what it is. It's a reference manager for the references and the readings that you'll read as part of the course or any research that you might be doing. It's a way of organising them into, you can organise them into different folders and different things like that. And once you've got them, you've sort of got them. You can also store the PDFs in here. Oh, here we are. Somebody else is just joining the meeting. Hello, Dorothy. Sorry, who was that just come in? It's too hard to work this at the minute. Diana, I think it was. So you come to the Mendeley website, and that's mendeley.com. Sign up. It's a free account. You get a great amount of space to keep your stuff. And the thing about having it online and on your computer, you need to have both of them. When you're working, doing your reading, you're sort of using the web version. And then when it comes to doing, your work at home or whatever, you'll be using the desktop version. But the two actually, work very well together. So once you're signed up, you then, I'll just sign in. Once you've signed up and you get to this part of the online version, you can do various things from here. First one being that you install this thing called the web importer, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And then there's a link here to download Mendeley for your computer. It will work on a PC, a Mac, your phone, Android or iPhone. That means that you can really sort of be working with your references and some of your readings really in a lot of different devices, laptops and all that kind of thing. Pardon me, there's an iPad version. So it's really quite a good application. Once you've downloaded it, I'll just load it up here. So this is what it looks like. Fairly standard kind of application with different sections. I'll show you how some of that works. What I thought it would be easier to do was we quickly show you how we get some references into it, and then at the end how we actually get the references out of it into an assignment, and then produce a bibliography. So if you're working, I've got a little cheat sheet here. Where am I starting off? EBP topic 4, page 2. Oh, I've not done the importer. The web importer is what you add to your browser, and this is what actually captures the information and puts it into Mendeley. So from that front page, install web browser, it's up here, web importer. You click on there, and then just very basic instructions here. Drag the Save to Mendeley button onto your bookmark toolbar. Now, I'm using Firefox at the moment, and this is the bookmark toolbar. If you can't see the bookmark toolbar, each browser has one, whether it's Chrome or Safari, or if you still use Internet Explorer. I'm not a fan of Internet Explorer. I tend to use Firefox or Chrome or sometimes Safari. Then there'll be a way of showing that toolbar. In Firefox, when you're in your bookmarks, it's actually listed here, the bookmark toolbar, and you can view it or not view it, and by selecting that would then hide the bar. When it's ticked, that means it's showing. So all I have to do here is drag this button from this page and put it at the top on my toolbar. Once it's there, that's it. You've done that once. You don't have to do that every time. You just do it the one time. Sorry, I'm just reading a message there from Dorothy a few minutes ago. You can hardly read what's on it. Have you tried maximizing the Fuse application as big as you can? If you make that as big as it'll go. And the other thing that you can do, where the cameras are showing at the top, there's a little pop-out arrow. You can move the videos out, and then that will also increase the size of the screen. Does that help, Dorothy? if you try that. So I'll just keep my eye. It's hard to keep my eye on the two screens. So that's that part done. There's another thing that we need to do from the Mendeley application, and that's here, and that's add a toolbar into Word. Now, it mainly works with Word, but it will work with the other, with the free Office tools. If you happen to use LibreOffice, that's one of the free Office applications. You might use that for word processing. You can use it with that. It's slightly different, but it still does work. I have tested it. I'll be demonstrating it with Microsoft Word. So the other thing that I need to do to make it all work is click this button here, Install MS Word Plugin. I'm going to leave that just a minute though and show you once I start actually getting over to Word. What I'm going to do for now is get a few references into Mendeley itself. So just quick check back at my notes, topic 4, page 2. So I'm going to go into evidence-based practice. And just into the content. Topic 4, page 2. I'm just using this as an example. I know that part of evidence-based practice, if that's what some of you are doing just now, is about going and finding references. So the way I'm going to go and find this one, Understanding Randomized Controlled Trials, I'm just going to copy that title, and I'm going to nip over to the library website. And if I put that title in here and search for it, here's the paper that I'm looking for. I click on that title. It's telling me here where it's available, and I know that it's available at the BMJ archive. I click on that link, and hopefully, if things work, the paper should be displayed. And there it is. Now, the reason I wanted to show that was because you'll notice as you're working through the courses that there's a lot of readings for you to do. Maybe some of them you won't decide to do, maybe some you will. The ones that are required readings are the ones that it's been really specified that you must do as part of the course to gain the understanding. Additional readings are for your own further research or interest in that particular course. Hi there. Somebody's microphone's open. There we go. Is it off? There we go. So I wanted to give you that as an example of how quickly you could find a paper that, I mean, we do try in most cases, as you might have noticed, to give you a link to the paper, and really with required readings we would do. Because this is evidence-based practice, we've not given you a link to that one, but this is a way that you can quickly find the paper. So I copied the title, put it into the library website, and then within, not too long, I've got the paper displayed here. Now, how do I get that into Mendeley? All I do is click on the Save to Mendeley button. This small panel here, which, is that better? I think maybe you can see that now. Another panel here has opened up. It looks like it's found the information. Can you see up at the top there? When I click on the Save button, it'll save that to Mendeley for me. Now, if I go here back to the Mendeley online and I look in my library, which was empty before, I can now see that I've added one paper to my library. I then go to the Mendeley application, and as you can see, there's nothing here as yet. When I look in my documents, there's no documents here at all. But when I click on the sync button, It synchronizes because I'm signed into the application and I'm also signed in on the web. It synchronizes between the two places and brings me that paper. So I've now added one paper to my application. Can I just ask, there's a microphone open somewhere and I just keep getting a little bit of feedback. If you could just mute your microphone. Maybe it's here, maybe I could do it. If you just press the mute button down at the bottom on your microphone, I think it might be Isa. It just stops me getting the feedback. So we've added one paper to our Mendeley library. The next topic 4, page 4. Let's go back to EBP, topic 4, page 4. And what's the one I'm looking for here? Okay, this one we've actually got a link to it for online, so I can click on the online link. Takes me to the BMJ. And again, I can click on the Save to Mendeley button. It's found the information that it needs. I can click on Save, close that little window, go to the Mendeley application, and click on my Synchronize button. And I've added that one as well. One of the things to notice about the first one that I imported, this symbol here, that actually indicates to me that it's downloaded a copy of the PDF as well. Now, some journals will, some journals won't. It kind of depends, how it works for each individual place. Not everyone works exactly the same, but that one came from the BMJ archive. It did. If I click on the actual reference, I can see all the bibliographic detail here, and I can see that it's down at the bottom. It actually picked up the paper as well, and I'll show you a little bit more about that later. Just a little bit here while I'm doing that. So I've clicked on this particular Akabeng paper, and I'm just checking here that all the information is, well, I'm not checking it's correct. I'm assuming that it's pulled in the right information, but I'm checking that it's got all the information that I would need to make a full reference for that particular paper. If it's not a full reference, what you might find happens is that up at the top it will say here that there's something missing. And what you then need to do is go through and check and see if all the details are there. If all the details aren't there, then you can actually edit this yourself and complete them. So so far we've managed to get 2 papers in. The next one that I wanted to look for, I'm just going into one of the other courses, QRM. What am I looking for? I'm looking for topic 5, page 2. So clicking in course content. Topic 5, page 2. I think it's this one. So again, there's a link to the reading here, so that's good. I can click on that. But I want to show you a slightly different way of adding this to Mendeley. I could use my Save to Mendeley button, but what you might find in some cases is that the link actually takes you to a copy of the PDF, and clicking on the Save to Mendeley button won't work if it's on the PDF copy. So what you can do in that case, most of the readings we've tried to make them so that they actually go to this particular version of a journal article, because we think that's the easiest way and it'll work with the Save to Mendeley button. But in some cases it's a PDF, And so for this example, I'm going to go to the PDF. That should display in my browser. Just waiting for that. There it is. Hopefully that's it there. It's taking a little bit of time, but hopefully it'll find it. Okay, there we are. So I've got the PDF. I'm fairly sure that if I click this button, it won't work. Oh well, in this case it did, just to prove me wrong. Usually, when it's because all the PDF really is just a piece of paper, usually that wouldn't work. So things always go wrong when you try to demonstrate them. So what I'll do in this case is I'll actually download a copy of the PDF, click on the download button, save it to my downloads folder. Now, it's told me that it's gone up here. If I just click on this little open the containing folder, I've already got a copy of it here because I tested this yesterday. But what I can do, if I arrange my windows kind of easily, it might be at this case, I think you might have noticed when I did, I'll just show you here, when I did the Akobeng paper, it came down titled Akobeng 2005 with a bit of the title of the paper actually in the file name. Sometimes when you download PDFs from journals, they come out like this, 1467966, which means absolutely nothing. It might be worth at this point, before you drag it into Mendeley, just renaming the file as Saunders, 2005 or whatever it is. Pardon me, but for now, what I'm going to show you, I'm just going to show you, if I drag that PDF from my file manager into Mendeley and drop it off, it'll automatically be added to my library. I don't have to type in all the title and the authors and the name and the year and all that sort of stuff. Just simply dragging a PDF into Mendeley, it'll automatically list it as a full reference. So you might want to save 4 or 5 different PDFs to your desktop and then drag them all in at the same time, or put them into a folder, drag them all in, and it'll sort itself out. It's really quite clever. When you do it this way as well, obviously you then have the PDF down here for you to view at any time. So that's that way. I've got one other example, I think. No, I think maybe that was them all. That's all the ones I was going. Does that all seem okay? Any questions? I'm not seeing any questions. I hope I'm explaining this well enough to you. Mendeley will store the only ones that I'm showing you today are how to get references into Mendeley from a journal, because primarily that's where a lot of your reading will be. But you can also add something to it manually. So you click on the File menu, add entry manually, and then this small window here will open up. I hope you can see that. And you can then list all the different types of references that you might want to do. So it might be a book that you want to reference, or it might be a book section, in which case you've got to reference the section of the book, but maybe it's an edited book where someone's put together a collection of readings. So you have to reference the book, then you also have to reference the particular reading. There's different ways of setting out lots of different types of references. Can we add web links or newspaper articles? I think down at the bottom here, there's a newspaper article. Each type of reference has a slightly different number of elements to it that you need. Web pages, there's web page down at the bottom. One of the things about web pages is you may feel you're still a title, an author, year, pages. One of the things you need to use the link of the web page that you've been reading. So maybe it was something on the BBC News. You also need to put in when you actually looked at that particular web page, because that gives it some kind of if it was something from 10 years ago, or it might not still, the web page might not even be there anymore. So lots of different reference types have different elements that you need to put into them. I think the main ones that you'll probably be using will be journal articles, maybe reports, web pages, a thesis if you're referencing someone's, something that someone has written. But you can, and books. I think that's probably the main ones that you'll probably be using. When you do that, as I say, you then just have to fill in all these different parts yourself. It takes a little bit more time, but the reason that I'm telling you about this is I think it's worthwhile doing that now, because when it comes to doing the part that I'm going to show you now, it makes it really worthwhile. Any more questions? Have I missed anybody's questions? I don't think I have as yet. So before I go and do the final part, because we're nearly there really, this is the main thing that I wanted to show you. In Mendeley itself, you can actually open the PDF. So I've opened the PDF that I downloaded, the one that the Caroline Sanders from QRM. So I've got a full copy of the paper here. If you had done this on maybe on your phone or your iPad or your tablet or your laptop or whatever you might be taking on the train, you could actually be working offline and reviewing these papers. Back in the day when I did my studying, which was quite a while ago, I used to quite like to have the paper copy in front of me and get the pen out and mark the pieces that I thought were interesting. But you can actually do this online now by you can use the highlighter pen. You can use the highlighter pen, he said. There we are. So you can highlight different parts of the paper, scroll down. You can highlight a certain part of it, maybe that way, if you want to do it that way. You can put a little note on. The note will always stay there until you come back to it. So you can do sort of all your reading and your marking online to the papers that are here, and that'll always, if I close that paper and open it again, those things, those marks that I put on it, will always be there. So it does. Apart from the main thing that I'm going to show you now that it does do, it also does that as well. I think that's quite handy. So the next thing that I need to do now is actually, how do I use this with Word? So I said to you that there was one other thing that you have to do in order for it all to tie in together. And you need to go to the Tools menu and you need to install the MS Word plugin. Now, I just wanted to show you this now rather than at the beginning, because when you do that, this box will come up. I'm just waiting for that to catch up because I see that you're not seeing it on the screen. Oh, yeah, there you are. You can see it now. Because there's a lot of different versions of Word, excuse me, it will tell you here in this small window, and it's worthwhile just making note of this, where the Mendeley toolbar is going to be located. So it's telling me here that it's going to be on the reference tab in Word. So I'll say OK to that. I'll open Word. Just waiting for things to catch up. You should hopefully be able to now see my version of Word, although it's not showing up just yet. Wonder why that is. Can you see Word? Oh yeah, there it is. It's open now. It's a bit slow. I'm not sure what version of Word this is that I've got, but it told me that I was to look on the reference toolbar. So I look on here. Now, there's lots of other different kinds of referencing, toolbar links, whatever, I don't know. But the one that we are interested in is here, this Mendeley Citomatic. I have a paper that I want to open. So I've already prepared my essay. This is it here. Hopefully you can all see that. I think what you would do is you would do this as you're going along, as you're typing. You'll be, you'll have the idea in your head who it is that you're actually mentioning. But for demonstration purposes today, I'm just going to show you now how you insert a reference into your essay, and then at the end, how you produce a bibliography. So this first paragraph, I want to reference that. I go to my References tab. I'm going to slow down a little bit here because I think it seems to be taking a little bit of time for you to get to see what I'm doing. I'm going to insert a citation here, so I click on that link here. As it happens, I remember the one that I want to put in here. I want to put the Sanders one. So I start to type sand. There it is. I highlight that, and then I say OK. And it's put that reference in. Down here, I want to put another one in. So I click on my citation button. Can't remember the one that I want to put in here. So I'm just going to go to the Mendeley application and look. And I think, oh yes, it's this one that I want to reference. So I highlight it. I then click the Cite button up here. And then I can see by this number 2 that that's been inserted there. I'll put in another one down to the bottom here. Insert citation. Again, I can't remember the one that I want to put in. Go to Mendeley. Akobeng. Cite. And that's me. I've only got 3 references, so I'm not going to be able to show you any more than that. But that's me put in the ones that I wanted. What I then do is go to the end of my document, back onto the reference to the Mendeley reference toolbar, click on Insert Bibliography, and then there are my 3 references listed here. Now, at the moment, the way that they're displayed is in the Vancouver style. We accept Dana, I'll answer your question just in a minute. We accept Vancouver and Harvard. So if I wanted to change this from Vancouver, as it's displayed at the moment, and I can see it's displaying Vancouver because it tells me up here in the window at the top. I click on the drop down here. Just waiting for that to catch up because I see it does seem to be taking a little bit of time. And then what I look for in this reference style, these are all different styles that are here. The one that I'm wanting to look for is the one that says Harvard. So I'm going to click on that. But while that window's still there, if there was another style that you were going to use, but I'll say, as I say, we only accept Vancouver and Harvard, you can look for more styles by using this button at the bottom. However, the one that I want to use is Harvard. So I click on Harvard. And then just wait for this to catch up. Maybe some people can see it, I don't know. Yeah, there we are. It's changed now. And my references down at the bottom here are listed in the Harvard style with the author name and then all the rest of the information. If I go back and look at my assignment up at the top here, I can see what it's done is it's put Altman and Bland, 1995, Saunders, 2002, Akobeng, 2005. And and that's my bibliography at the end. What's the time? 9:02. I hope to get through this in 30 minutes. I didn't want it to be too long. What I'll do now is I'll just answer some questions. Dana, as far as I know, it doesn't work with Pages. I don't know. You can get. I use a Mac at work here, so you can get Word for Mac. I don't know if that's something you might be interested in. There is a way of purchasing it for students, which maybe you could look into doing that. Maybe Pages has its own way of doing it. I'm not sure. So that's not really much help to you, but maybe we could have a chat about that later. Does anybody have any other questions? Open your microphone if anybody wants to open the microphone and ask anything.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. I was wondering if you can tell me if you want to cite the same publication, but perhaps different quotations from it several times in one essay, do you still go through the same process? And does it automatically know that you're listing the same publication so it won't appear 3 times in the bibliography?
Yes, it does. If I just go and put in, I'll put Sanders in again here, and then say OK. So I think, is that caught up already? Can you see that? So I've now cited Sanders twice. How about, yep, there it's at the top, and then I've cited her again down here, but it only lists it once. So yes, you can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's a good question. Any more questions? If there's, maybe you're still thinking questions. From the Mendeley site, they've changed the layout of this, and I've got to say it does confuse me just ever so slightly. You can see here. Oh, I think I know what's happened here. Looking here, I can see on my web version there's only 2 papers listed, but I know that there's 3 papers in my desktop version. And what I've not done is I've not pressed the synchronize button. So if I now synchronize that, and you can see that, and then go here, by just clicking on the all documents again, I've now got 3 documents. So it kind of works both ways. You need to synchronize from the web version down to your desktop version, but also if you add something to your desktop version, as you might do, you then need to synchronize that back up, and that keeps everything working together. The other thing to show you was that down at the bottom here, once you've logged in or from the Mendeley page, even without you logging in, what it tells you here is a lot of sites that are supported by Mendeley. Now, I was going to demonstrate this, but I had a little bit of difficulty because what they've actually done, it says that Amazon is supported, and I tried that yesterday. The reason that might be to save you typing in the individual information for, say, a book. What I used to be able to demonstrate was that you could go to Amazon, search for the book, and then press your Save to Mendeley button. I tried that yesterday and it had limited success. It got some of the parts of the information, it got some of the parts of the reference, but not at all. So you still had to go in and do some manual editing yourself. So it might be that you just get into the habit of the ones that you can't add automatically with the Save to Mendeley button, that you just get into the habit of typing them in yourselves. And it doesn't take too long because it does ask you, each element that you need for the reference. The other thing which is here, there's a link to the help guides. Now, on everybody else's computer except mine, these links work, but they don't work on mine, so I can't demonstrate what's there. But they also have some very good video guides. So it's worthwhile, and they'll probably maybe go into a little bit more depth than I've gone into. The aim of today was to give you a broad kind of understanding of what Mendeley will do and how we think it can help you when it comes to writing your assignment. So if there's any other questions, I'll certainly take them now. If anybody wanted to stay, I realise that some people might be going to work or whatever. If anybody wants to stay and ask questions once people have gone, or any general MPH questions, I could try and answer those, then please do. If not, if there's nothing else, I'll say thanks for now, and I wish you good luck with your assignment, which you'll be starting soon. I can't believe that we're nearly in week 5 already. I will make this available. I'm just going to process it now. Sometimes the recordings from this Fuse thing don't work so well. I'm hoping that this one's worked, but I will make it available. So thanks for your thanks. It's nice to know that it was useful.
Excuse me, Stuart.
Hi there.
Can you hear me?
Dorothy. Yes, I can.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'd like to take you back a little. There is something that I seem to have missed.
Okay.
That's the connection between Word and Mendeley.
Okay. Shall I just show you again?
Please do, thank you.
I wonder if it might be easier. I'll just try doing it this way. So in Word, when you've downloaded, once you've downloaded the Mendeley desktop,
Yes.
and you have the two things that you have to do: install the Save to Mendeley button, and then also the Mendeley importer, the plugin. Sorry, that's the word I'm looking for. The Word plugin. You need to do that from the Mendeley application that's on your computer. So you go to the Tools menu. Now, it says uninstall here because I've installed it. But if you've not installed it and you're doing it for the first time, it would say install MS Word plugin. If Word is open at the time, it'll ask you to close it. You click on that button, and then what it does, if I just bring Word to the front, in the References tab on this version of Word that I have, it puts in the Mendeley Cytomatic section. And that's the magic part that you use to get the references into your assignment. Does that help?
Thank you very much. Yes, that helps. Thank you very much.
If anyone has any questions, obviously I don't know how many people are left, then get in touch with me and I'll see if I can help you. The guides on the Mendeley website are very good and are very helpful. So I think the main thing to be doing is just any time that you're reading a paper online, put it into Mendeley because it's always going to be there for you to come back to. Okay. I think someone's just joined, but maybe that's a bit late. Isa, have you just joined us? Maybe you had some difficulty. Anybody else? Any other questions? If there's no other questions, I'll probably just close things here. And everybody can go and start doing their assignment. Anything else? Okay, well, thanks very much for coming along. I hope it's been useful. I think by some of the comments it has been, so I'm pleased about that. It's just to try and make things a little bit easier for you. So good luck with your assignment. If you have any questions, myself or the tutors, should be able to help you out with any assignment questions. I think you probably know now how to get in touch with us. So I wish you all good morning from here in the UK, and we'll see you soon.